Can SBA go back and retract forgiveness on a PPP loan that was previously forgiven? Yes, they can. We're seeing a lot of requests from SBA to re-examine loans, re-audit them where they were previously forgiven. And this is starting from 2021 moving forward. This is now December of 2023. We're seeing a lot of those inquiries come in. So if you get a notice from your bank requesting additional records for that previously forgiven loan, number one, verify that it's a legitimate request and it's not a scam. Talk to the banker, making sure that they get the right loan, they got the right borrower, it's a legitimate person, they are a representative of the bank. And if it is, you're going to want to aggregate your records. It might be the same records you previously provided, but there might be some insufficient information, something that hasn't been resolved. And now SBA is looking at that and going, well, hold on a second, we have a couple more questions. This issue has not been resolved and the documents you provided don't substantiate the qualifications. So remember, there's two calculations you have to establish forgiveness. When you originally applied for the loan, you would have used, if it was PPP1, you would have used 2019 payroll. You're going to take your total payroll cost plus employee benefits and your state unemployment insurance tax, take that total amount divided by 12, and if you're not in the hospitality or restaurant industry, you're going to take that number multiplied by 2.5. If you are in the hospitality or restaurant, you're going to multiply it by 3.5. That number should get pretty darn close to the amount of the loan you receive. And if it doesn't, then that's going to reduce the potential forgiveness you're entitled to. Second part of the analysis, and people always confuse these two, the second part of the analysis is how you spent the money. So you're going to have to show that at least 60% or more of the PPP funds were used for payroll, and no more than 40% were used for other legitimate business expenses. Check that out before you submit any records, but you just don't want to delay the response. You want to make sure somebody with qualifications to examine these loans is looking at that and say, yeah, the numbers can be verified. It could be a CPA, it could be a tax attorney. Just make sure they understand what the SBA rules are. More recently, in the last, I'd say 8 months, we're seeing a lot of other questions that arise. If you have multiple businesses, they might want to include, and they can include, employees for that business and lump them together into the borrower for the PPP loan, maybe the current corporation you have. And you have to stay under 500 for PPP1. It gets a little tricky when you're in PPP2, because now you have to be under 300 employees, and they can aggregate all the income. So for PPP2, you have to have a 25% reduction in income. But if you aggregate all your businesses, if they include those as affiliated companies, it could mess up that formula. So there's bigger implications. Long story short, make sure that you verify your records, make sure it's a legitimate request from the bank, check your emails from the bank, make sure you're not getting any recent requests. You just don't want to ignore anything, because SBA, if they don't get the right information or they don't get a response from you, they can deny a loan that was previously forgiven. And then you're going to go into collections, and eventually the loan will be paid by SBA, because SBA guarantees those bank loans. And then they'll turn over the Treasury, the US Treasury, for collections. And we're seeing a lot of those cases that are popping up right now. So hopefully this information was useful. Please respond timely. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. I'm John Milikowski, founder of Milikowski Tax Law.